Hi, are you struggling with students and members getting lost during onboarding to your programs? Well, in this lesson, we're learning all about to-dos and actions for new students. So that way they don't get lost when they join your program. They have a great onboarding experience. They don't ask for refunds. And eventually they leave great reviews, leading to even more students. Hi, I'm Angel from RT Course Experts, and we help creative online course teachers with their tech. In this lesson, we're learning all about to-dos and action items for onboarding new students and community members. We're going to learn what is it, why you should use it. We'll go over a how-to guide, then we'll go over an example, and finally, we'll summarize all our top tips. Well, first of all, what is it? Well, what we're talking about is when you're creating a course or a community, you have a task list, like a to-do list for customers, and it's shown in their portal right on the very first lesson or on the dashboard. So as soon as they join your community, they see that they have some very essential things. Now, why use onboarding and to-dos? Well, new students or new community members or new coaching clients, they're going to get lost. You're going to offer your program, which there's going to be a bunch of emails and links and apps and portals and all this stuff. And then when they get there, there's all these different sections and rooms and courses and lessons. So students are typically going to get lost or overwhelmed. So by you providing a nice, clean to-do list, maybe just a few items, like 3 to 5 items, students will have some direction, some focus when they first start your new program. And you show it to them right away upon, signing up, logging in. They see right on your training app, there's these to-do items for them. And that's going to help give them some direction when they first get there. Otherwise, they're just clicking around on all this stuff. It's just extremely overwhelming. So let's go over a how-to guide. Customer to-do lists can be used for online courses, online communities, or even coaching programs. They can be used for a wide range of things. Now, each of the to-do items has some action. It might have a description, like a summary. So every one of your to-dos is going to have a summary, like a title, a little description, could be just a few sentences. You might have a checkbox that lets them track as they could tick it off as they're getting through each item. Maybe it's styled in a really cool way, whereas they check it off, it crosses off the item, or it changes the color from green to, from black to green or something like that. There might even be a hyperlink for each action. And the link takes them to some content like, hey, here's the page where you can update your profile, or hey, download our workbook and here's the link to it. If it's designed well, that link opens up a new tab or a new page on their browser. It doesn't take away their to-do list, because the last thing you want to do is have your students get lost. So hyperlinks are cool, but don't take them away from that main portal. And then you can even have due dates, right? You can have an explicit date, like on a certain day of the month, or you can just have some relative dates. This all varies with your different systems, but think about, for these to-do items, which ones make sense to have a to-do, or do you not want to provide pressure and let your students take your course as they see fit? So it's up to you, your style of teaching, the goals of the course. So let's go over a couple of different things you might want your students to do. First thing they could do is they could bookmark your e-learning dashboard or your main page. Literally save it on the browser. Very common that students can't figure out the login, they've lost their password, lots of things like that. They're talking customer support. They come in that first day after checkout, they've just bought it, it drops them in the course, and then they don't know how to come back in on a different day. So this is a really common problem. So you could go ahead and suggest your students to bookmark that portal, e-learning portal. Another thing you can have on your to-do items is for that student to update their name and description so that they can put a proper name. Maybe it's their nickname, or maybe they don't want to reveal their last name, so they put like an initial. They might even put a one-liner about their company, about their business, their state and and country, whatever, or their sub niche, what they do, who they are, like their title or what they're going after. So this is, flexible. And that's also a way you can guide your students so that way they can feel really comfortable in your course and community environment with your guidance and your description on, or even the name of the label. So is it your name, or, what do you want it to say underneath your avatar? And getting your different students to actually upload a picture or something cute like an animal or a thing that really helps make the community a lot more friendly and engaging. Another common to-do list item is to join a chat or a discussion or a community or social network or even an email list. So depending on how you structure your courses and your communities and your socials, they could all be in one giant app, or they could be on best of breed on different platforms. So you can have your courses on Kajabi. Maybe you might have your course on Thinkific or Kajabi, but maybe your community is on Circle or Facebook, and that's okay. So you're just going to want to connect all these elements, let people know, hey, go ahead and join, click this thing, or look for the email, whatever it is. And then that's going to be great for when you're digging into the different, but it's also a good way for them to raise their hand and get tech support. Then you can intercept that and catch that and help those certain students out. But at least you're getting feedback and they're not just dropping off. Another popular to-do item is the before and after assessment. Maybe it's a quiz or a survey. You might have a survey in the beginning of your course, like where are you at? What do you know? And then later you're doing that other quiz or survey at the end, whether it's actual skills or just how would you rate yourself? So this is a common thing that you're going to want to do. It's great engagement and it's good self-assessment. And one of the most important things to do on courses is to really get some sort of workbook or guide or template. So that's another item that's a great to-do that you want them to grab in those first few minutes as they're and one of the most important needs on online courses is for students to download a workbook or a guide or templates. You're going to want to provide a link for that. You're going to want them to do that in those first 10 or 15 minutes of them entering your course so that they can have that PDF or print it out or whatever it is that they're going to do. Depending on your tech platform, you teachers and coaches are also going to be able to view and filter all your different students and customers by their status. So you could see which students have taken which lessons and things like that. You may be able to also see which students have done their to-do items. So you can nudge them along. You can ask if they have help, if they need help. You can do a variety of things. It's also good if maybe you have a cohort. So you have this collection of students that's coming in together. You want everybody to do that first level step before, or maybe you could do some filtering and say, who's been in the course for at least 4 weeks, and then let me go check what they've done. Now let's check out an example. So let's go over using to-dos when creative students first arrive at a drama course. The students arrive, they're in this portal, it's the drama course, maybe it has a bunch of modules and lessons and a whole navigation bar, and maybe you might have a welcome video as your very first lesson that's automatically shown as students first arrive. Right there on that first lesson, you may want to go ahead and add some action items or to-dos. Now remember, depending on your platform, you might have more advanced capabilities with actual checkboxes and real stats for every student. If not, you can fake it with some HTML, just some raw text that you put in that first lesson description. It could be literally brackets, like characters that you type on your keyboard, or it might have the ability to have real checkbox. Right there, there's that welcome and introduction. They might actually press play right away, of course, or your system might automatically play that first lesson. Behind the scenes, they're slowly digesting and they're looking at these action items. Here's some examples of what we might want to do. The first thing might be to bookmark this course. It says bookmark this page. So they've just bought the course, all the links happen and the page refreshed, and a few seconds later, they're in the course. They don't even know how they got there. They don't know what link. You may want them to bookmark that page. Of course, As a good teacher, you're also going to send a nice email, an onboarding sequence, and that email has the link, and it also avoids support. One of the first actions you could do is to bookmark that page. So the next task for the drama course could be set up your profile with a description. And you could even give them some guidance, like what type of acting do you do, or where are you from? Then we're going to include the link because they're on this kind of homepage. They don't know deep in settings where exactly is that profile. There's this one settings, their billing or other stuff. It's just all over the place. Some of these systems are really large. Just give them the link, so that way they can go and update their profile. If possible, make that link open up in a new tab because they're actually listening to the welcome video that might be a few minutes. And if they click on that, you don't want to take them away from the welcome video. The welcome video has essential things as well. But while they're listening to that, they could easily click a link and open up a new tab, and that's where they update their name or set their description. The next thing you might want to do in your drama course is to have your students join the community. Now, remember, it depends on your platform and which components you have and which tools you're using. If the community is right there in the same course program, then you might as well have them do an introduction. But if the community is on another platform, like let's just say Facebook or Circle or something like that, Mighty Networks, then you're going to want them to go and get in that other platform, actually connect, link up, enter their profile, whatever it is that they need to do to get into the introductions of that community. Another type of to-do item that you could do is having each of your new drama course students take an acting skills assessment. So there's this assessment, maybe it's multiple choice, maybe they fill in the blanks or scores from 0 to 10 or from 1 to 5. How would you rate A, B, and C, right? So you're going to give them the link and you're going to want them to do that assessment. For some of these things, it just might be so much on that first thing. So you might want to break out your action item and to-dos. So there's like 3 things here, but then maybe later in the beginning of module 2, you might ask for one or a few more checkboxes just to get them through. So you don't overwhelm your students on that first interaction in their first 10 minutes. Another popular item that you might want to do for new students is getting their workbook, getting their printouts or guide or whatever. That's a popular item, and you're going to have a link there. It might be an external PDF, or it might be right in your platform that it's an uploaded file. Either way, they're going to want to get it out, and you're going to want to give them a little more info, like if you can, download and print, or download and fill out page 1 of your workbook, stuff like that. That really helps new students get oriented and get started with your course. If you want to level up, save your students from information overload during onboarding. Give them a few simple 2 to 5 to-do items that they need to do and give them a guided step. They may or may not have to do it right away, but at least they have some focus and they know what they need to do next. They're going to watch that welcome video and they're going to do the first 2 or 3 of those check boxes to get going. They're excited. They're ready to start. So let's summarize. Here are the top things you need to know. During onboarding, students get overwhelmed with all the new resources that you packed into your course or your community or your coaching programs. So you're going to have a few to-do items to help them get started. And you're going to introduce them in the very beginning when they first arrive at your portal. They're going to have some basic descriptions, a checkbox for fun, a hyperlink, or maybe a due date. And it's going to help students have an amazing first hour with your program. So now you're a lot smarter on onboarding students and giving them nice step-by-step to-dos for your online courses, your communities, and your coaching programs. To learn more, check out the info and links in the notes. If you're loving this stuff, subscribe to keep leveling up your creative business. And if you need any tech help with your courses, community, or teacher website, visit www.rtcourseexperts.com. Thanks for hanging out. Let's stay in touch.